What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Brick Talk, the Lego investing podcast. Today, we're going to be going over a whole bunch of Lego sets, most of them retiring, and we're going to be telling you if we think they are good sets or bad sets for investment. So the first set I want to talk about today is the closest thing we're going to get to a retiring modular this year. This is 76218 Sanctum Sanctorum. So we can see here the set launched in August of 2022. It is scheduled to retire, and this late in the year, it's becoming less and less likely that the retirement list changes, especially with large sets like this. A couple of years ago in 2018, we got this other version, this 76108 Sanctum Sanctorum Showdown, which is kind of a facade. It just has two halves of the building. This one had about a 20-month shelf life, $100 MSRP. And if we look here on the camel chart, as soon as it retired, that shot up pretty quickly within 4 months to $150. This set peaked at $320 on Amazon. So keep in mind, you have to pay your fees and your shipping. You're maybe netting about $250 after that. And then of course, the price has fallen off in recent years due to the release of this new Sanctum Sanctorum. But if you could buy this for 100 or on discount for 80 and sell it and net 250, that's 3 times in your money, tripling your money. So why do I like this set? I will tell you why I like this set. This picture sums it up. We can see the pins on the side of this building make it effectively a corner modular. But in addition to being a pseudo modular, this is also stuffed full of Marvel Universe lore. We have Doctor Strange here, a Captain America billboard on the side. And real quick, I want to show you the price action on this set. This Camel 3X chart goes back to August of 22, the release. It's never been sold on discount from Amazon. That is a straight green line, my friends. When we look at third-party sales, what do we see? Boom! Some good action over 290 here. And it looks like around New Year's 6 months ago, it sold for over $300. So Kevin, I did my due diligence. I brought the heat today and I showed you my homework. Now it's your turn to tell me, do you think this is a good set or a bad set?
Great prompting. I will say yes. You're making my job on this podcast super easy. I don't need to say anything. Did all the work for me. I'm going to call you up when I'm out at Target or Walmart or something and be like, David, give me the rundown, man. What do you think?
So on past episodes, I have been singing the praises of the modular bookshop set up there. The proof is in the pudding. Modulars do really, really well, and we're scheduled to have no modulars retire in 2024. This Sanctum Sanctorum is the closest thing we're going to get. Fun fact, if you are interested in still picking up the bookshop, Amazon does have it at MSRP, and when it went out of stock temporarily, I saw that price jump immediately to $250 to $275. So the moment Amazon dries out of stock, that's back to being a $275 set. There's no way to know how much zombie stock Amazon has of that set, but I would be surprised if it survives Q4 this year. And so basically we're going to have 2 modulars retiring this year, the bookshop from last year and this Sanctum Sanctorum. Pick them up, folks. Not financial advice, by the way.
I'm still calling you up though when I'm in Target or Walmart. Again, not for financial advice. I'm just be like, hey, what do you think about this set for entertainment purposes only? Just because I want to be entertained while I'm walking around Walmart and Target. For everybody watching, we record these on Saturdays, typically in the morning. It's not super early, but David and I are both still kind of waking up as we get rolling into these. And so, I think you should go again because that was awesome. I got to keep just chilling and relaxing. Go with your second set. Let's do it.
Well, Kevin, I'm just in a Marvel and DC mood this morning. I'm going to keep it going with this next set, 76262 Captain America's Shield, $200 price point, which is way too much. I know it's 3,128 pieces, but looking at this build, this is pretty repetitive. This is like more repetitive than the Christmas wreath, more repetitive than the globe. This does not look like a fun build at all. Launched in August of 2023, this set is scheduled to retire at the end of this year. And if we look here at the Amazon price history throughout the set's life, look at this chart. All these upsy downsies, these stair steps. This set has not stayed at one stable price for more than like a week. So we see MSRP is 200, it sold for that, and then it was discounted down to 170-ish, 150, even as low as 140 last December. Then we see this stair-step action, and the market price for this set has pretty much been $170. Kevin, I'm going to quiz you real quick. I know it's early in the morning. When I enable a third-party sales on this set, what do you expect to see?
I think it's going to track pretty similar to that green line, and it's going to be a bloodbath.
All right, let's check it out. Oh, he got it right. Not one single sale over the MSRP. And excluding the first couple months of its life, when sets typically go out of stock because of initial demand, this set is not sold even close to its MSRP. We see sales down here around $180, $170. Looks like the lowest is $153. That's not what you want to see. If we look here on Target, this set was until recently available for 20% off for $160. Looks like shipping has sold out, but I'm sure we'll get another deal on this set soon. Last year we had this set retire, 76209 Thor's Hammer. As you remember, Kevin, you brought this set up on a prior episode of the podcast. This set was a Target exclusive. You liked it a lot. I really didn't. But if we look here, the performance after retirement has been amazing. $222 up from its $100 MSRP in just 6 months. That's outstanding. But we have to remember, Captain America's shield is not a Target exclusive, and it's double the price point. It's at a $200 price point, which I think is just completely unreasonable. And so you may have been right on Thor's Hammer, Kevin, but I don't expect the same performance from this Captain America's shield.
I missed that. Were you saying good set or bad set?
I'm saying bad set.
Bad set.
Bad set. 2 thumbs down. Hoopty tier.
I feel like this set does have appeal to a certain audience. It might be a narrow audience, but I bet this set appeals to accountants because it's so repetitive and it almost looks like a spreadsheet. I mean, yeah, a circular spreadsheet, but it almost looks like a spreadsheet with all those plates in there. Honestly, I think Lego hired an accountant to design this set. If you're an accountant and, you're into some ribbing and some humor, which I know that right there doesn't really add up. Most accountants, I have nothing against accountants, by the way. So if you're an accountant, please don't unsubscribe to our channel. But
Kevin, you're digging the hole deeper and deeper.
I'm trying to, baby. Let's keep digging.
I think Lego's accountants had a field day when they designed the price to this set or built the set to the price point. Decent part count if you're into the red and white plate battle pack.
Yeah, they got the spin. There
the
it is.
Spin. Here we go, folks. Coming in with the spin.
Look at all this Technic in the back.
All right, give it to me.
Oh,
that's horrible. Let me get it again. Oh, man.
Ouch.
That is so bad. It kind of looks like the inside of the UCS Star Destroyer, just those I-beams built for strength and not for aesthetics. But this set is completely open on the back, so you don't want to put this any place it could be seen from behind. Yikes. Bad set, ugly set. That's enough Marvel and DC for me. Whew. Please tell me you have something else for me.
You brought some color, so I wanted to go to a different theme that also has a bunch of color. So let's talk Monkey Kid. This is May's Dragon Mech. Right now it is on the retirement list, which means a 1-year shelf life. It's a pretty cool looking Monkey Kid mech, and I know some of the past Monkey Kid mechs have done very well. Little lower mech price point than some of the other Monkey Kid mechs I think could be of interest, but the vibe is just not working for me. These yellow structural column pieces I think look really weird in this set, and I don't like how muted the colors are, even though it's bright-ish, but Monkey Kid is really bright. And then this big sword piece actually gives me vibes of these Ninjago gamer sets that were not very popular at all. Now, I realized they weren't popular because the minifigures with the little life bars above their heads was just weird. It didn't really work out, but there's a lot of similarities between the Monkey Kid set and this much smaller mech. And then here's the Gamers Market. Again, similar vibes. And what's interesting about Monkey Kid is we don't get a lot of data on these. There's not going to be a lot of sales velocity. There's not going to be Camel 3X charts. They're all Lego exclusives, or pretty much all Lego exclusives. And so these ones are the high gamble sets. Monkey Kid, in my opinion, is the high gamble theme. And so I'm gambling that this one is not going to be so popular. I realize it hasn't been out for very long, but if we go to eBay, there are no listings that have sold new in box recently. But what are your thoughts on this one?
Kevin, I actually disagree with you on a whole lot of this. I really like the inclusion of that yellow trellis with those support column pieces. I think it adds a lot. Kind of like the NASA Artemis set containing the rocket and the whole support brace system. I like that your minifigures can climb up and use those to kind of board the mech. And I really do like the colors on this set. Those teal, blue, and white and gold is a great color palette. I will confess, though, that with Monkey Kid, it's usually the villain mechs that go on to do pretty well. We had the Demon Bull King do really well a couple of years ago. Just last year, we had the Evil Macaw's mech retire, another bad guy mech. And yeah, really low sales velocity on eBay is kind of concerning when you're choosing a set for investment.
Let me turn off sold items on eBay and just see if there are any new listings.
So I'm wondering, with only 3 listings, Is this set just slipping under everyone's noses? No one is even going to know it ever existed, and no one's ever going to want it? Or is the fact that it's super obscure and no one's looking for it now going to help it in retirement because there's going to be low supply should the demand ever pick up? A little piece of anecdotal evidence here, but whenever I go to the Lego store and I see they have some sets on sale, frequently Monkey Kid sets are among those on sale. Even if they're not on sale online, I'll find that my local store does have them on 20%, sometimes even 25%.
Interesting. I have not seen much of that in my stores.
So if you think this is a bad set, I want to know what you think is a good set.
All right. So my next set to look at is this Monkey King Ultra Mech, which is the second version of the Monkey King protagonist mech. It will have a 2-year shelf life, $160 for 1,700 pieces, and all the pieces go into the mech. And this one's got a bunch of bright red and gold with some teal accents, 6 minifigures. BrickSet says a couple of them are unique, but there's a lot of good going on this set. If we go to eBay, only 4 have sold in the last few months, but they're around $200 when you include shipping. This one is $250 shipped. Now, you may be asking, why do I think this is a good set when the original Monkey King mech was $150, and on eBay, it's only going for $190 shipped, $180 shipped. Yeah, about $180 or $190 shipped. So after shipping and fees, you're not making any profit unless you got it on a really good discount.
And it's been 2 years since it retired.
Exactly. But the reason I think the new Monkey King mech is going to outperform the original Monkey King mech is because the original had a bunch of parts go into the side builds. This little small enemy mech, and then this little, what is that, like a noodle shop or something like that? It's a nice little build, but obviously everybody's getting this set for the mech, and a good chunk of the parts budget went into pieces that didn't go into the mech. I think the new one looks better, very beefy, bulky. The bow staff, the weapons, the minifigures are awesome. Yes, I think all Monkey Kid sets need to be got on sale, but this one I think has a real good chance.
I like this one a lot too. 160 is pretty high of a price point, but I think if you can get this closer to 120 or maybe even 100 with some promos, absolutely a great set. Like you said, Kevin, Lego learned their lesson after the first time they put the full price budget into the mech, and I think it's easy to imagine this being $200 or $250. Fun little game we like to play on the podcast. Guess the part out value. We're here using the BrickLink part out tool. This is going to tell us the sum value of the individual parts in the set. Kevin, what's your guess?
Okay, so it retails at $160. It's got a lot of red, got some gold.
I know that gold could be pricey.
Can be.
It's got teal, another pricey color.
Got some teal, and it's got, it's not like it's a bunch of tiny pieces either. I'm going to go $235 part out value.
Oh, you're so low. You're way low.
You think so?
I'm going $350.
Oh man, I'm gonna be embarrassed if I am that far off.
All right, folks, we got our guesses in. Ready, set, go. Oh, 280 is the 6-month sales average. Currently for sale, 360. So average those out, we're at about $320 part out value. You are looking at the part out value guessing game champion right here. Do I win a sealed copy of this mech?
It's already in the mail for you. I feel like 235, my guess, isn't too far off of the 280 that has actually happened. But I'm okay giving you the prize. Like I said, your prize is in the mail. Enjoy it when it shows up.
So for the Maze Dragon mech, $100 MSRP. My guess on the part out is $145.
145. I mean, geez, that's embarrassingly low. Don't you remember all the yellow structural lattice pieces? I'm going to go 146.
Set number 853. Before we press get value, I got to know, Kevin, are we going on the sold average or the new price?
You do whatever fuzzy math you want to do. I'm still winning with my 146 guess.
We're going to do some DG Bricks averaging here. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Oh my goodness, what a spread. We have 130 for the 6-month sales average and 194 for the currently available. I'm going to be mailing this copy right back to you.
I agree with that, but I think that we just came up with a new segment, which is, let's see how many times Kevin can be wrong with the part out value.
Well, Kevin, as bad at math as you may be, I do know someone who is worse. And that, my friends, is Target. We have a page full of sales here, and I'm going to talk about the one no one wants to talk about. That is the Marvel Hulk Mech Armor 76241. Target has it here for $7.67, which is 20% off of its, is that 20% off? I can't do math either. But I think that's 20% off of their 20% off price, $9.59, which is 20% off of their $12 and change price, which is actually 20% off of the MSRP of this set, which is $15. So I think Target has put a quadruple 20% off on this sale. Something similar they did last year was for the Red 5 helmet. They put that on 20% off of its 20% off, $56. I think 20% off of that is $43, and that was the lowest price we saw for that Red 5 helmet. So I did in fact find an entity that is worth it math than any of us, but I do really like this Hulk Mech armor set. Launched at the beginning of 23. By the time it retires at the end of this year, that is a full 2-year shelf life, which is kind of long for a small price point set like this. If we look at Camel's 3X here, we can see the Amazon price history. $15 set, been knocked down many times. And looking at third-party sales, boom, it has sold over $20. Most recently, third-party for $18. Amazon currently has it in stock for $9.59. As soon as that sells out at the end of this year, I would expect this to go for $20 or more. And if you can pick it up from Target for $7 and change, well, that's a pretty solid Lego investment.
And you were able to say 20% off like 3 times in the same sentence. Like, I don't know how you did that without getting all tongue-tied. That was impressive. I'm glad this isn't a drinking game for when you would say 20% off, because I'd be wasted at this point.
I really don't understand how Target arrived at this $7.67 price, but I'm very happy to scoop this set up for that price. I think it's going to be a great Lego investment.
Well, so 20% off, 20% off, 20% off. See, I can do it too.
It's actually one more. It's 20% off, 20% off, 20% off, 20% off.
Don't correct me with my 20% off. It's my turn to talk about 20% off, darn it.
$15 MSRP. 20% off makes 12. 20% off makes 9. Oh, I'm sorry. It's only 3 20% offs.
Ha! So 20% off, 20% off, 20% off. Does that equal 60% off? Now we're given a math lesson in the middle of our good set, bad set. This is great content.
No. So here, let's pull up a little. I don't have
order of operations, darn it. It's not.
It's not.
Each follow-on 20% off slightly deteriorates against the original $15 MSRP. Maybe that's how they were doing their math, and I don't know. It's too bad they don't add all the 20% together first and then take 60% off of the retail price.
Well, it's funny because if they actually showed it at its proper retail price of, hey, this is $15, but you can get it today for half that, I'm sure people would flock to it and sell it.
Yeah.
Oh, say half off Lego.
All right, I delayed my response on this set long enough by giving a math lesson. Here's my response. Don't waste my time with this superheroes mech. I'm done with them. Move on.
Uh-oh, we got the mech lover here. I think
You?
No, you're always talking about the Star Wars mechs.
Oh, Star Wars mechs, sure. Superheroes mechs. I'm done. Move on.
No. We cannot yet move on, my friend, and here's why. So as you guys know, I'm a little bit of a Google Trends guy. Here we're searching for Marvel. We can see generally a growth, peaks and valleys, of course. This huge peak here in 2019 was the release of Marvel's Avengers Endgame. That movie made like $2 billion. It was a huge cultural phenomenon. And the hype has come down a little bit since then. If we look over here to Hulk, going back to 2004, we can see a huge spike here in 2008. I think they had a movie release. But look here, this trend is generally increasing. We have a spike here in 2022. And then, of course, the hype died down a little bit. But Hulk seems to spike every time there's new releases. And I don't keep up with the Marvel fandom, so I could not tell you what's coming out with the Hulk in the future. But if there is a piece of media coming out soon in the future, you would bet that there would be a surge of Hulk demand. And that would push this set up over $30.
Were we looking at the same charts? The only way that chart increased for me is if I tilted my laptop screen to the left a little bit. Now it's increasing for me, but that was flatter going down a little bit.
I saw you making squinty eyes there.
Yeah.
But rest assured, I will have more Google Trends charts coming soon because we are not yet done talking about superheroes, which is really, really funny because I know nothing about superheroes. I am not a superhero person. I don't follow that at all. I have limited bandwidth in my brain for nerdy stuff. And most of that goes to Star Wars.
Well, I speak for the audience. We can't wait for more Google Trends charts and more Marvel superheroes.
And more slanted diagonal analysis. Well, if you see here, folks, if we turn the chart diagonally, we can see the trend emerge.
That was so good. All right.
So you don't like my Marvel mechs?
Marvel mech, superhero mech fatigue. Even though I will say, I'm surprised by that one. Did you look up any of the other Marvel mechs? Are any of the others doing okay on Camel 3X, or is it just Hulk?
I did look up the others scheduled to retire this year, and none of them excite me as much as the Hulk mech. And if we look in the past, Hulk mechs have actually done pretty well.
Yeah. So to be fair, Hulk mechs are cool, but
it's a perfect fit for his personality. I mean, he literally gets enraged and turns into almost a mech himself. So,
and I don't want to waste my time, but I'll probably still get a couple just because it's fun and because I like taking DG's research and non-financial advice entertainment, and using that information to make my own decisions that are 100% my own, that are not based on anybody else's input, because I find what DG says to be pretty quality stuff. And I like that.
Appreciate you, buddy.
How'd I do on that? That sounded like a pretty good disclaimer, right?
That was a disclaimer that turned into like the most heartfelt compliment I've ever received. I'm beginning to tear up.
I usually hide my compliments inside disclaimers. All right, enough of these Marvel mechs. I'm taking over. I'm not asking.
What the heck is this thing?
It's my next good set for good set, bad set, because it's a great set.
Maybe if you're in your 70s or 80s.
Oh, let's look at the data. First of all, it is a beautiful looking car. Corvette red, baby. It's a 4.4 on BRICKTALK. It's only 150 bucks. Most of these are 170, 180. Let me show you why it's a good set. Popping over to Amazon, we can see that it's selling 700 per month. Pretty good sales velocity for one of these brick built vehicles. Let's scroll down a little bit further and see what else we find. For comparison purposes, this small Technic tractor that people are very excited about, only a couple hundred more a month. Let's keep going. Chevy Camaro is only 100 per month. The Land Rover Classic Defender, this is a terrible set, it's 200 a month. But still, 700 a month is pretty good. If we look at the other Icons vehicles, there's not a lot of bright colors. Red is going to stand out. The new Countach that is the same basically as the Speed Champions, but larger, super awesome. I'm not worried about these Icons vehicles that have all these specialized side builds and extra components. That bores me. But the sports cars and the muscle cars are awesome. This one is bright. It stands out. The Chevy Camaro is black and gray with a little bit of red or white accent. The Porsche 911, that's awesome, is another white one. The Ford Mustang is a dark blue. And then if we go down to the one that retired, that's Ferrari, this is really the only one that is doing very well in the secondary market. I realize it retired almost 8 years ago now. 100 to on BRICKTALK, it says about $300. So it's basically 3x in value. I think that's a fair representation. I know this Ferrari F40 is a really cool car, so I get that this one would be very popular. But the new Corvette, pretty good. I know it's an older model. Well done, in my opinion.
A couple positives for this set: very short shelf life, just 16 months if it retires, and $150 price point is on the low side of these Icons vehicles. What Amazon data we can see looks a little encouraging, but I am still concerned about the crossover and demographic. This is an old car, and I don't know a lot of people in prime Lego buying age, be it 20s, 30s, 40s, or even 50s, that really look fondly on this car and would be willing to spend over $200 on it on the secondary market. The choice of red, though, I'm not so sure. We get so many red Ferraris. I'm not sure what colors this car was actually offered in, but I would have liked to see it in a different tone besides red. So the shape is amazing, a lot like the Aston Martin DB5. The curves on this are amazing, but the color, it's a thumbs down from me.
That's funny you mentioned the color. So I actually like that it's red and that it's not a Ferrari, because it seems like all the red cars we get are Ferrari. So it's nice to get a red one that's not Ferrari. And when you look at all the others in the lineup, at least recently, they're mostly white and black and dark blue. So getting something bright is great. But I hear you. But for me, I think the color is the selling point.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with this Corvette. Of course, we would like to think that more data helps us make better decisions. And if you're interested in unlocking some more market level data to help you in your Lego investing, we do have a free trial of Shane's BrickBucks Ignite program available at the link in the description below. Next, I want to talk about two more sets that are mysteries to me. We are continuing on with the Marvel and DC train. What's that I hear? Some snickering?
Well, I mean, you know, when you've got the expert in the room, we might as well continue on with the topic. I mean, you know this stuff inside and out.
I haven't seen a Marvel movie in 10 years. We are heading back to Target for some more 20% off sales. I'm looking at these two sets on the left, the Lego Marvel Spider-Man's mask and the Lego Marvel Wolverine's adamantium claws. I have no idea if I said that right. An important detail is that both these sets are Target exclusives, but only one of them is scheduled to retire at the end of this year, and that is the Wolverine's adamantium claws set, launched in August of 23. If it retires, it'll have just a 17-month shelf life, which is pretty short for a Target exclusive in the Helmet series line. I know this is a hand, not a helmet, but it blends in with that collection. And the Spider-Man's mask is not scheduled to retire until the end of 25. Looking here at a recent Target exclusive that retired, the Spider-Man Carnage building kit. $70 retail. I think it started at 60, but it was pushed up to 70. It sold over its MSRP while it was on store shelves, and after it retired, that has been up, up, and up, currently selling for $128. That's crazy.
And this one was a Target exclusive also.
It was. If we want to look at the Wolverine claws, $70 MSRP. Remember, the lowest we've ever seen it go for is still over 65 bucks, and it's gone as high as $100. If we look here, I promised it before, now I'm delivering more Google Trends, baby. This is the search volume on Google of Spider-Man going back to 2004. Obviously, all of these peaks are movie releases or maybe game releases, but there will be, I'm sure, another Spider-Man movie coming soon, driving interest to this franchise and probably interest to this retired Lego set by that time. And I'm going to show you something that's probably going to surprise you. If we add in here to this search, Wolverine, we have Wolverine in the red and Spider-Man in the blue, and wow, look at this. I had no idea there was this much interest in Wolverine. I think I've seen one of the X-Men movies like 10 years ago and it was good, but I had no idea this was such a thing. Once again, me having my head buried in the sand when it comes to pop culture and superheroes comes back to bite me again. So between this chart showing a significant delta between Wolverine interest and Spider-Man interest and the past performance of the Carnage set, I'm looking a lot more seriously now at the Wolverine Claws set.
I am too, and the Thor's hammer did well. So now we've got some, comparables in the similar arena. And when this Wolverine's Claws set was announced, there was tons of excitement. But then when we saw official pictures, there was a lot of disappointment because it's so plain. And I honestly have waffled. I freely admit I've gone back and forth. But now that we're seeing Thor's hammer do well, which has a very plain component to it, I agree. I'm looking more at these X-Men Claws. I personally was not surprised by that Google Trends chart. Wolverine is just bad to the bone. Love them. And I don't think we're going to be getting another X-Men Claws set. I think this is it. So I'm looking at this like the helmets, as you mentioned, a $70 MSRP, way overpriced. We're going to get it on sale for $55. I'm going to wait and see if we can get the $48 price point that some of the helmets have gone to. Some of the Target exclusive helmets have gone to in the past. And at $48, I'm in. Even at $55, I'm in for some, but at $48, I'm in a lot more.
Looking at the Dark Trooper, that went to $55 a lot of times, but I think one time maybe briefly it went down to that 48 and change, and at that price I'm going in big on this set.
Yeah, I think I got like 10 of those Dark Trooper helmets at the $48 price point.
Nice. If we think about the big C word, collectability, what's been collectible even before Lego sets really became collectible? Comic books. It's like the original collectible thing. And so it's no surprise that these comic book Lego sets, the adult-oriented ones that appeal to that crowd, not the children's play sets, but those adult sets just going to the moon.
Now, in contrast, though, the Spider-Man helmet, it's going to do well on the secondary market. I don't know how well, but it's going to do something on the secondary market. But the set's a huge disappointment. It's just, they use those big curvy pieces in the whole mouth and nose area and in the forehead area. That's like two pieces, basically, with prints on them. Great, but that's not Lego. The shaping doesn't work out. It just doesn't look good.
Pathetic part count, too many stickers, too high of a price. I'm not impressed.
Yeah, I'm not impressed. But do you see Lego making another Spider-Man helmet or bust anytime soon?
Maybe not. They've made a lot of buildable figures and a lot of play sets, but I believe this is the first mask or one of a few masks we've seen.
I mean, they've done, Batman last year before, and Carnage. We talked about that. But I don't see another Spider-Man mask anytime soon. And even though it is pretty horrendous looking, I mean, this is worse than Chewbacca.
Leave your comments down below. Which is more horrifying, this Spider-Man mask or the Star Wars UCS Chewbacca?
But Spider-Man is so popular and is generationally popular that I still think this one's going to do something on the secondary market. But I mean, it's got to be $48 or better because it's 487 pieces, like you said, and a bunch of stickers. Yeah, some prints, but it's a mess.
But if it's going to be a Lego investment, someday you need someone to pay 80, 90, 100 or more for it. And I just don't see the appeal.
Yeah, it's ugh.
So only one of these sets is retiring this year. I'm saying Spider-Man's mask is a bad set, but the Wolverine Claw is absolutely a strong candidate for investment.
Yep, I think those were softballs. And I have to say that I agree with you. But enough of that, on to my next set. And it is a Star Wars set. Finally, to the Star Wars theme, David. 75348, the Mandalorian Fang fighter versus the TIE Interceptor. What do you think I'm going to say on this one?
I don't know. I'm just thinking about how when this was first released, I mistakenly said that the Fang fighter was a remake of the Mandalorian fighter, and I got roasted to pieces in the comments. Of course, now I realize they're not the same ship. But anyway, Star Wars nerds are ruthless. Hopefully the Marvel and DC nerds are a little bit kinder to me.
It's a terrible set, and this is less of good set, bad set, and more of a PSA, in my opinion. I've heard some people talk about, hey, but it's got the TIE Interceptor in there. This is a $100 set. We've got this new UCS TIE Interceptor, $230. In order for this set to be a good investment, you would need people to pay $150 minimum for it, maybe $180. Now we're getting pretty close. Why would anybody pay close to UCS prices for this set when they can get a much better TIE Interceptor for not much more? And again, we don't care about the smashed potato pancake in this set. And I want to point out the minifigures pass. 4 of them, they're valued at $24. It's not even a quarter of the value of the set. Junk, junk, junk. Here on Camel 3X, we'll do the big reveal, but on Amazon, it's been low as $80, and that looks terrible. But things have changed. We've got the TIE Interceptor UCS. Like I said, this was a quick and easy one, David. More of a PSA. Hard pass for me.
Yeah, it's disappointing. I can't help but wonder what if they had separated these sets and then, like they did with the Ghost and Phantom a couple years ago, release a value pack, a 2-pack, $50 and $50, or you can get the 2-pack for $90. Lego likes to do that sort of 2-in-1 or 3-in-1 thing, and it was kind of doomed to fail from the start. Other than those 4 lightsaber piece cannons falling off too easily, the set is literally perfect. The appearance is great. The construction is great. It's sturdy. Minifigures are just disappointing on this. And with the release of the new arm-printed Bo-Katan figure, there's really no reason to go back and get this old one. I'm shocked to see the value of those 4 figures so low at $24. Can't help but agree with you, Kevin. PSA, don't pick this one up. Not financial advice, of course. Make your own decisions, but I won't be looking at this one unless it hits at least 50% off. So last time on the podcast, we talked about Ninjago City Gardens, the 3rd entry in the Ninjago City line, $350, nearly 5,700 pieces and 22 figures for that price. This one's retiring this year, and it's going to be an amazing investment. But in contrast to that, I want to take a look at this new release. This is 71814, the Ninjago Tournament Temple City, $250 price point. And looking here at this box, this looks to be a child-oriented playset. Okay, I get that it's 14 plus, but come on, who really looks at those Lego age guidelines? So a little bit interesting here. This is a $250 price point for 3,500 pieces. Pretty good price per piece like we're used to seeing on Ninjago sets. Looking here at the construction, it is very ornate. Lots of small details. That rock work looks good. Also 13 minifigures in this set. It did just come out at the beginning of June of this year, so it won't be retiring this year. Might not even be retiring next year. I would expect 2025 at the earliest and possibly 2026 for this one. So many details. You got this flyer dragon here, classic Ninjago dark blue roof with the gold skull ornament on top. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels, and then this underground basement. This is a pretty hefty build. The Lego website says that it's 19 inches high and 25 inches across. That is over 2 feet. We can see the insides of the various levels here. Looks like some stickers, a telephone, lots of details. Lots of details everywhere you look. You need a long time to take in the visual spectacle that is this set. Reminds me a little bit of another set we've talked about. So these sets aren't really comparables because one is retiring just as the other one gets released. But I do want to ask you, Kevin, do you think that this new set at the $250 price point is going to drive demand to the retired Gardens set, or do you think they're completely in different categories?
Completely different categories. I don't think the new one that you're showing us is going to be a good investment or be that strong in the secondary market. So no, no, and no. I still like City Gardens a lot, and that is its own sub-theme. I like them because they're built vertical. There's a lot going on, and every layer just adds on more and more value, where the one that you just showed us is spread out more horizontally. And it seems like when I look at different sections of the build, I have a tough time saying that a high percentage of all the elements adds value to the total, right? So like the whole rock structure, a lot of pieces go in that. But how much do you really do with it? Yes, there's the cave below, but that's not sitting on any more pieces. That's just open space. You can put the dragon in there. And then around that rock structure, you have a pretty small building that's very open in the back, and then the little bridge and the little gateway area and a tiny dock and a tiny crane.
When you see the $250 price point, first of all, you do a double take. And then you look at this and you kind of start doing the math in your head to think, okay, this building is maybe 30. This big structure looks like $100 Ninjago temple we've seen plenty of in the past. 13 minifigures, maybe that adds $20, $30, $40. We have these details, and you really kind of struggle to reach that price. By contrast, Ninjago City Gardens is this bulky hunk of material, and at 5,600 pieces for $350, that's an amazing price per part. That is seldom seen with LEGO prices these days. Yeah, it's an expensive set, it's a high barrier to entry, but the value is absolutely there, and I don't find myself questioning or trying to add up the value on this one whatsoever.
Yeah, because it really seems like the efficiency of each piece placed in this set is so much greater than the other, meaning that every piece has purpose. And don't get me wrong, aesthetically, it's a great looking set, but I don't see the value.
This Ninjago City Gardens is the same age bracket, 14 plus, but this box itself looks way more impressive. The halo glow in the back, the skyline. I mean, the Ninjago City Gardens set is one that I absolutely want to build, don't get me wrong. But I think I also want to keep one sealed on my shelf as a collector. Maybe someday I'll sell it, but there's some value in seeing that impressive looking box, and you can get some enjoyment out of that. This box on the new Tournament Temple City gives me none of that. It looks plain, it looks like a play set. So I think Ninjago City Gardens has a lot more appeal than this new set.
All right, David, so this is my next set, and I think this is an interesting one. And as we all know, this one moved forward, so it's now retiring at the end of this year, which puts it at a 1-year shelf life if nothing changes. That's a fantastically short shelf life. I don't have any comparables. I'm not going to go crazy on the research on this one. I'm going with my gut. I look at it. It's beautiful. The pastel colors are fantastic. It's only $60. Yeah, it's 644 pieces, so price to part ratio sounds pretty good. But let's look at some of these lifestyle images. That is a sizable build. I know it's flat, but it is a sizable build. There will be a presence with this set hanging on your wall. And let's look at the other one that has the foliage elements that the parrot is sitting on, also very sizable. And if we look at this lifestyle hanging on the wall, there's some impact here. Again, for me, I'm not even dealing with metrics and data. This is one that when I look at it, I just say to myself, there's value there. The design and the faces and the beaks is well done. Obviously, all of the feathering is great. And then the foliage on one, that's a perfect touch. It's not overdone, but just one little branch with a few little petals on it. It is gorgeous. And LEGO has clearly done their research. They know there are tons of bird fanatics, bird watchers out there, and they've come out with not an overabundance of bird sets, but they've come out with a lot more than usual lately. And here's some examples. The Kingfisher, that's a great one. We've got the pink parrot that is a Target exclusive. We've got the original that is a recolor, the exotic parrot, the nice little Walmart exclusive birdhouse that's adorable, and then this little bird's nest. Again, it's not a ton of bird sets, but I think LEGO is onto something, and this is the winner.
I didn't realize how big these were. I don't think that the picture on the LEGO website or the box really does justice to how sizable these are. Go back to the image of the person holding them. Yeah, unless that's a tiny person, I mean, this looks huge. I would want to see the measurements of the wingspan.
I think we can get those. They're both over 16 inches and 13 and a half inches.
Way bigger than it seems on the box or from the picture.
Yep.
It's kind of interesting that this one's been moved up a year. Maybe that's a sign it's not selling as well, but the 1-year shelf life is definitely going to limit the amount of people who get their hands on this set. The question is this going to be relegated to the dustbin, or are people really going to want to go get it for $100 or more? I'm kind of lukewarm on this one for investment. You never said if it was a good set or a bad set.
I said it was an amazing set.
So there are certain aspects of this set that I like, but I'm actually going to call it a bad set in comparison to some of those other bird sets you mentioned. I'm going to be a little secretive here, but some of those sets are really, really attractive to me as investments. I'm going to be looking way more closely at those than the Macaw parrot.
I think that's fair. I got some of those on my hit list too.
All right, next episode is going to be the bird episode.
No, it's not. I can promise you, everybody, don't go running for the hills. You can come to our next episode. It will not be the bird episode.
All right, my last set for today's podcast is a little bit of an oddball. As we record this, it's not even out yet. It's the Creator 3-in-1 31153 Modern House. Look at this design with this color palette, those horizontal lines. I mean, this is exactly what it says it is. It's a modern house. So my first impression of this set was amazing. I liked it a lot. 939 pieces for $100. Little expensive. You would like to see that better from a Creator set with no licensing fees attached. I'm sure there'll be some amazing rebrickable mocks to turn this into a mini modular. I love seeing what people do with those Creator 3-in-1s. The Noodle Shop had a ton of rebrickables for it. So I'm excited to see what people come up with for this. But I gotta say, looking at the B and C models, oof. Doesn't look like it's worth $100. Maybe there are some parts that got left out. We can see the backside of that. And then looking at the C model, oof. Not sure I'm seeing the value there, folks. When I first saw this set, I loved the design, I loved the box, and I love the color palette. The yellow and the blue, touch of green palm trees. I mean, it's a beachy vibe. They even give you a little corner of the ocean there with those teal plates. A couple minifigures enjoying some tanning chairs. Look at that modern chair, a modern chandelier. It's not even out yet. It won't be retiring this year, so it doesn't really even matter. But Kevin, I do want to hear your thoughts.
Well, first of all, nobody looks at the B and C models and decides if they want the Creator 3-in-1 set or not, right? Like that's not part of it. You do know you can't build all three at the same time. You can only build A or B or C. So if we love A, then who cares what's in B or C? Especially because, as you mentioned, we can go to Rebrickable sometime in the future, and we know there are going to be some great builds of this. So yes, this one caught my eye too, but probably not for investing. I think it caught my eye more for personal build. It's just a cool set. Like if you Google modern home, this is what they look like these days, right? Like the Lego nailed it, and it's a neat set. I wish it was actually a city set though, and if it came with a couple of the new road plates or at least some of those connector type pieces, so it could go in with your city a little better. I would have liked that better, but it's cool. It's a fun set. I don't think there's anything there for investing.
Yeah, it seems just way too high of a price. I would have liked to see this at 80 and then discount 20% down to 64. Yep. But these 3-in-1 buildings that turn into rebrickable mini modulars, those are absolutely chef's kiss.
For those of you that had chef's kiss on your bingo card, you may have just hit bingo. I know DG doesn't say it in every episode, but he gets it in there here and there. So, that's one of the more obscure slots on the bingo card, but you just nailed it. I did not want to get left out of your Marvel discussion, so I've got a Marvel set. Get ready. The Hoopty, this quality set right here, $90, 420 pieces, 3 minifigures, and a few, are those friends cats? I don't even know. One cat, a couple of baby cats or kittens. I think it's been out for at least a little while. A whopping 818 members on Brickset own it. Oddly, there's 981 crazy people out there that still want it. No idea, but I mean, clearly this set is just something. Here on eBay, it's selling for just over 50% of the MSRP. Some crazy person bought one at $75. Another crazy person bought one at $70. But remember, these include the shipping. So after shipping and fees and everything else, it's terrible.
Those also were back in February.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Nobody's buying this.
Yep. But in June, somebody paid $50 after shipping.
Oh, yeah, because by June, it's going diagonally down.
Diagonally down. Tilt your monitor screen again. But there's one thing that I wanted to show you of interest, and it's not of interest like we're going to go invest in this set. And I'm speaking for both of us here because we've joked about this one a lot. But there's one thing that's really odd. The minifigures, according to Brick Economy, are valued at $45, half of the retail price. And there are only 3 of them. That's insane. Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, but Ms. Marvel, $22, and Photon almost $20.
I'm struggling. I just don't understand where they came up with $90 for this. I know that Lego takes a set idea, puts it into a price point, and then builds the set to that price point. So what, did the designers get to building this set, slap together 420 parts on it, and say, yeah, that's good enough. We can still sell it for 90. This looks like it should be 60, maybe 70 with Marvel tax. Maybe I'll give them 75, maybe 80. Why is this $90?
They set the price budget first, and then they build the set. I think the original price budget was $65. They built it. No disrespect to the designer. I'm sorry, Mark Stafford. We could click on your name here in Brickset. You've probably made some other great sets, but this one just didn't work out. The Lego executives looked at this and said, nobody's buying this at 55 or 65 or whatever the original parts budget was. So they said, you know what? Instead of completely throwing it away, let's put some crazy number on there purely for market research. This set it's like the opposite of a loss leader. This is a market research set for Lego. They don't care at all about this set other than the data that they collect off of it. And since I mentioned it, let's click on Mark's name and see. I really feel bad for picking on the guy.
I think after we've slandered this set in 2 consecutive episodes, I think we need to maybe give Mark some credit where it's due.
Yeah. Let's go with the recent stuff. So in 2024, Dungeons and Dragons Red Dragon's Tail. Good work, Mark.
What's the other 24 set?
Let's see the big reveal. The Avengers Assemble, Age of Ultron.
I've never even seen
but
this.
People like it. Now let's go to 2023 for our buddy Mark. The Avengers Quinjet. That's a decent build.
Yep, $100, same as the Hoopty.
Is an amazing build. This is an amazing set. I love it to pieces. Literally, I want to crush it to pieces. And then the Avengers Tower. He's got some good stuff going. We all have bad days at work. It happens.
I don't understand how this is 90 and then the Quinjet is only $10 more.
And it's a good build. Yeah, I don't want to invest in it, but it's a good build.
Hey, we didn't mention, this is a Target exclusive, folks.
What?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
The only way I would pick this up is if I see it clearanced out by Target for at least 50% off. But looking at another $90 Target exclusive, the Wakanda Forever big black ship. This set right here, $90, retired 6 months ago. It's still available for 40% off from Lego.com. When I was last in my favorite Target for in-store clearance, I saw an entire end cap of this set at, I think it was at $55, and I passed them up. There were probably 20 of them there.
Man, you clearly missed out. All I gotta say is I really hope Mark didn't design this one too, for his sake.
Kind of picking on Mark today, aren't we?
Well, I mean, when you make the Hoopty,
can we keep going on Mark's 2022 and 21 maybe?
Yep. 2022 only one set.
Oh,
Black
no.
Panther. I'm not gonna dog him on this. This set is awesome. It's just that the executives made them err on this one. It's in the wrong scale to all the other helmets and busts, and so it doesn't fit in with anybody's collection. Yeah. But the build and design is good.
What about 21?
4 sets. Uh-oh. This is getting rough. Oh, thank God.
The Bugle. The Bugle is an all-time great, and just like the Sanctorum that we led off with, fits into a modular city.
Yep. And then the Workshop.
Yeah, it's all right.
All right, let's keep going. What's in 2020?
A lot of Avengers.
Oops,
Uh-oh.
Wonder Woman versus Cheetah. Okay, Iron Man helmet. It's one of the better helmets out there in the Marvel series. All right, let's do 2 more. 2019. Ooh.
T-Rex Rampage.
That's a beautiful set. I'm a fan. I love all of the Easter eggs on the backside of this. That was well done. Got to give Mark a lot of credit on that. It's like, I keep calling him Mark. We're on first name basis now. We've talked about him so much.
I don't think Mark likes us very much.
Ooh, now I really like Mark. I love Nexo Knight. These are the old days, but I love Nexo Knight. That's pretty great.
That set looks awesome.
Oh, man. And then some. Oh, there you go. Good Hogwarts set.
Huh.
Not a good one to invest in. That's a nice set. You know what? I lied. Let's go again. This is fun. Jestro's headquarters. Yes.
That's an awesome set. It's a rolling tank thing.
Yes. Mark, we're buddies again. So good.
I always liked the volcano lair.
Yeah.
I picked up a bulk lot that had this one in it. And so I built this set to completion, ended up getting rid of it, selling it onward, but really cool set.
Yeah, that's beautiful. You know what, Mark? You're a good guy in my book. Like I said up top, we talk about the Hoopty. Every now and then we all have a bad day at work.
Well, I certainly don't want to be judged on my work from 4, 5, or 6 years ago. Mark, the Lego designer, you gave us the D&D set, and so for that, you are redeemed.
And all the Nexo Knight stuff, I redeemed them too. Don't leave me out of that.
That's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you very much for watching. Feel free to leave a comment down below. We'll be back in the future with more episodes soon. Take care, everybody.
Right.
Bye.
That should be our closeout. We both go bye.
Okay, wait.